But we should see it. So is this the microphone? It says USB, which that's not on. I hear you.
Well, that's the mic. That's the other. That is this.
Is it? Are you sure?
Yes.
I don't know if I hear you. I hear you.
Oh, it is. It is. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's just.
Let's set it to Omni as well, right? Oh, it's. Is it muted? Did you just? That's cardioid. Let's
I
do.
had it on me and it's really muddy, but.
That might be the gain though. It might be like over gain, right? Like, yeah, that's okay. So that's high gain, lower gain. That's so if we're talking, it's gonna sound like this. You want me to go distance? Yeah. I suppose. I suppose we also want this to be muted because the stream is probably playing back its own stream, and then the room speakers are coming from.
Yes, it is a one track. And
I mean, where is so? If I want to listen to live,
the thing is, I'm starting on the room.
like the thing is, we don't have any audio in the computer this time, so I'm just gonna turn this off.
Right.
We don't have any computer audio coming through. All we care about is microphone audio.
Yes.
Video capture doesn't matter.
To be fair, it
either.
wasn't inputting any audio to begin with.
Let's also add the little video capture. That's good. That's good. Don't you? Oh, great heavens.
We want to be sharing like the. Okay. On camera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Let me get that.
Cool.
All right.
And
Auto tracking. Oh, love that.
It's identified the. Are we all main characters here?
We sure are. Wait, what is going on here? Why is there? What? Michael, oh god.
Oh my god, I'm the main character.
We know this, Michael. Everyone knows this.
All right.
Interestingly,
Yeah.
This is probably fine.
that was like,
Okay.
We're not recording, so you might want to hit that record
I don't
button.
want another like.
That's fine. That button's fine.
I was considering okay. Cool. And we got the slideshow, and now there's the other matter of the lights. It's like before the movie where they dim the lights.
Actually, the audio is better. I think the music
wow.
must be set up.
Is there abbreviation for this?
I'm sorry?
DLU or something?
DLU was under consideration for a while. It was a DLU abbreviation.
Is there an accepted abbreviation?
I don't know if that's formal. William's grinning because
I've been using
we're using DLU. It's an handful of places. All right, everybody. Yeah, welcome to DevLUp, right? First meeting. Woo, yeah. Yes, yes.
Is this being recorded? Name's Jack.
It is being recorded. Nice to meet you, Jack.
Okay.
It's also being live streamed.
What?
So that's something.
Is it what?
Did we drop the link in?
That's okay. We could, I guess, for some of the people that are at home.
I will.
We are typically going to try to stream these meetings, but we really like it when everyone shows up. I think it's a little bit nicer, right? So yeah, we're gonna spend probably the majority of today's meeting introducing and explaining different aspects of what it is we do exactly. And then towards the end, we're going to give a brief overview of various facets of game development at a really, really high level. We'll get much deeper in future workshops as requested, but you'll all see about that. So I guess without further ado, we'll get started. Hey, Abe, Andrew, welcome guys. So yeah, today's agenda, a little bit about who we are. So our positions. We're gonna talk about all the different people on the admin team because we're not really all present here. There's around 10 of us right now, I think. And what we've been up to over the summer, the different things that we've kind of accomplished, what we have planned, and stuff like that, right? So, a little bit about us. So this is a much more full image, I think, right here of us as a group. Minus a couple of new people / people that couldn't make it at the time. So from left to right over here, we've got Christian. Yeah, this is Christian. Diana, who's right over here, who does a lot of our video stuff. We'll all do our introductions in a second. This is me. This right here is Andrew. Andrew doesn't attend UF yet, but he will soon. He drove up 2 hours for the little social that we had last week, where we all hung out and got to meet us. So that was really exciting. Tony over here, I don't think he's here today, but that's all right. Abe, who's right over there, and William over here. Nathan is currently, if you guys heard drums on the way to this meeting, Nathan's probably directing those drums. That's why I couldn't be here. There's a lot of like drumming happening outside from marching band. And then Julia and Morgan. Morgan will be here, I think, towards the end of the meeting. This is a picture from end of the year celebration a little while back. You can see Morgan here. So yeah, I guess a bit about what we do. I'm the president of the organization. I've been with us for a little while now. Nathan, if he was here, would tell you that he's the vice president. We both just do general leadership things. We're involved in a lot of different stuff. William does a ton. He does DevOps, AWS. We'll talk about the sort of services that we're running and providing. But a lot of the website is a product of his massive amount of effort. How many commits are you at right now? Is it
5,000 like in the last year on GitHub, but like 2,000
Yeah.
on the
5,000 commits in the last
site
year?
repo.
That's wild. So yeah, Morgan does a lot of our marketing. Diana does all of our videography and like live streaming. Helps with graphics. Morgan helps with graphics. Julia does a lot of our graphics. Tony will soon be doing like strategies of marketing, all sorts of stuff. But so I guess a bit about myself. My major is computer science. I'm a business minor. I've done a little bit of computer engineering classes for fun. I've done a little bit of aerospace courses for fun, and I've done a little bit of biology. But my favorite video game is the Crisis series. I'm here today because when I was like 10, I encountered Crisis 3, and I read into all the marketing chatter about what an impressive, graphically, significant game it is, and it got really excited. I'm here because I love computer graphics. It really got me into game development. And since then, I have a lot of game dev experience. I started using Unreal Engine 3 when I was 11, and Unreal Engine 3 was really quite an adventure back then. Not the fun experience that Unreal Engine 4 is these days, or actually Unreal 5. But I love tech art. These are some of the things that I've made over the course of my over the past several years. Some of the things for our club. We have some graphics on our Instagram with like the game jams or different things like that. And shaders. I love shaders. We'll talk about those a little bit later. But yeah, water. So Nathan's not here today, but he's asked me to speak for him. So Nathan is a computer science major with a minor in linguistics. He does a lot of his own game development. You can see some of the cool things that he's put together. His favorite games are Osu, Minecraft, Civilization. He's very involved with the Rhythm Gaming Club, if any of you are familiar with that, like show of hands, familiarity with the Rhythm Gaming Club. Okay, it's pretty popular. They were outside of what's it called? What's the building next to us? Turlington.
Oh.
Turlington. They were outside of Turlington, like just yesterday, playing some games. And he does a lot of programming and designing. One complete game, multiple work in progress, and some of his work that he's been doing. Lots of really interesting stuff. Morgan, I might give her the opportunity to introduce herself when she does pull up later today. But Morgan does a lot. She's DAS major as well as advertising. She loves Mass Effect. She's worked on various projects. Diana. Yes, someone that's here.
Yes, hello. I'm Diana. I'm a digital arts and sciences major. I specialize in game development, but I also do some videography stuff sometimes for the club. My favorite games are Hyper Light Drifter, specifically because it awakened me to how much I love pixel art, because that game has some killer pixel art, and kind of solidified that I want to do that for the rest of my life, basically. I also like Okami, a couple other things, and I am really into indie horror specifically. Any indie horror that I can get my hands on, I usually absolutely love it, and I also love talking about it. So if you ever get into a conversation with me about that, it will go on for a while. in terms of game dev experience, I am mostly an artist, though I try to like fill as many hats as I can. I have a little bit of programming experience as well as like animation, rigging, that kind of thing. Here's some of my work, I suppose.
Yeah, the stuff from the
Yeah,
the Gaslight Girl Boss. There was a fun game from a previous game jam that Diana worked on that was really quite the.
Girl boss capitalism story.
It was something. It
I
was
have to think
something.
about it.
I don't think Julia is here, but Julia's our main graphics designer, like I said, and this is some of her work. You can see she's very talented. She actually has an Instagram page with something like 10 or 20,000 followers for her art. Very impressive. Yeah, no, she's very involved in a lot of art. So very cool person. Hopefully she'll get the opportunity to introduce herself at a later meeting. But she does love Final Fantasy, as we can see from some of the stuff here. Hey, William.
Hey, I'm William. So I'm a computer science major, and my favorite game is Path of Exile because of all of the mechanics that it has. Unfortunately, I haven't been playing it recently because of just develop work and the school and everything, but it's a pretty fun game, and it's also free. Game dev experience, I have a heavy programming focus. I program networking, the develop website, and all the API back in AWS stuff. I also worked on a game called Endless Hunt this spring for a game jam, and the current game project I'm working on is a tactics game, and you can see it on the bottom right there. And it has pathfinding, and I'm planning to like add AI and everything, and it'd be cool.
And yeah, Andrew's not here. He doesn't attend UF quite yet. He's applying to transfer, but you've probably seen him on our Discord. He posts every day. In fact, he hasn't missed a day in 475 days. He regularly contributes to our show off channel. You see him posting all the time, little progress. A year and a half ago, he joined this club knowing almost nothing about game development. Now he uses Unreal Engine 5. He does 3D modeling and shaders. He's extremely talented. And it's because he just spends, I think, somewhere between half an hour to an hour doing a little bit of work daily. So bit of a role model and an absolute legend. He's a computer science major. He loves Gris, League of Legends, The Stanley Parable, and has a lot of experience in various areas. I personally work with him on a small team that we call Full Stack Studios, along with like Tony, and we're working on a fun little Unreal Engine 5 roguelite thing with elements of Escape from Tarkov, but we won't get into that. Abe, yeah.
Everyone, I didn't want to walk up here because I was going to walk in a little late. But I'm a computer science major, and I mainly work with game dev. I've done like one game jam and done one completed game then, but right now I'm looking at the Unity package ML agents, which is really cool because I got the opportunity to work with like AI and training agents and being able to do that in game dev. So that's just some of the fun things you can see that you can do with it. Just training AI, giving it, resources so that like this is what's right, this is what's wrong, and the smarter it gets with how many test cases you do, and then that's my job.
And Christian, yeah.
Hi, I'm Christian. I'm also a computer science major. Can't see the theme. I'm minoring in DAS and potentially math as of last week.
Nice.
So that's gonna be exciting. Favorite game, Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. Such a good game. Star Wars D&D. You should play it. I really love making games from start to finish, like working every single position in the pipeline. Don't do concept art. That's the only role that I can name that I haven't done yet. But I run a tiny little game studio called Studio Coleman. Do a lot of publishing through there. 10 games now or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you have any questions about any part of the game development pipeline, I can hopefully redirect you to the correct source or answer it myself.
A jack of all trades. That is
I-
skilled at all the trades.
I would say jack of all trades, master of
Some.
systems programming.
Systems programming. Okay.
So back end stuff that William does as well.
Here's Tony. I unfortunately he's not here, but Tony is a marketing major. He has a minor in DAS. He loves The Last of Us Part 2. He was at EA this past summer. Got us some pretty cool connections there. We're gonna have a guest speaker from EA later in the semester. We might also have the original designer of Master Chief pulling up. over Zoom to talk to us, also from EA. So very cool. He and I worked on a game called You v Huoi. It's just you versus you, but like the inverse. You play against like copies of yourself. And he's done a little bit of game development, but generally Tony's skills lie in marketing, business. Hey,
Hey.
Jason, bad Julian. Uh, so what have we been up to? I want to talk a little bit about what this club has been doing for the last 3 months essentially. So at the very beginning of summer, we did something called we called it the club-wide game jam. What we did is we got all of our members together, we got about 30 people to do a game jam together as one large team. Very formative experience, very stressful. That was a big effort between, I think, William, myself, Marissa, Thad. Marissa's over there in the corner in the hat. Bernie Mercer is a nonprofit that's dedicated to making helping support children with cancer, and they had a situation where they needed like an app developed, a little game that goes with the book that they have. So we sort of worked together with them, and over 72 hours, put together a lot of content. I wouldn't say a finished title, but certainly moved the project from nothing to a lot closer to something. So a lot of the art from that our members made, and some of the results of a lot of the programming, which William was heavily involved with. Closed, I think, 64 pull requests in the span of 72 hours. That's almost a pull request per hour. Going crazy. Yeah. I mean, you don't sleep. So you just don't sleep during some of these game jams. You can see the source tree over there, and then these are two different GIFs scrolling by our Trello channel and our GitHub channel. Every time you see Exonite with a little black profile picture, that's him. But no, it was a very, very busy time. I was managing a lot of the Trello and the technical art side of things, but so one of the cooler projects that we've been working on. Another news, we recently incorporated as a nonprofit, which is really cool. Why did we do that? We have some goals, and those goals are to spread game dev clubs to a lot of high schools and to also some colleges. Because we believe that colleges should have game development clubs. I mean, there's a lot of interest in it, and game development is sort of the intersection of all of the all the letters in the acronym STEAM, right? We've got the science, the tech, the engineering, the art, the math. There's really just so much to game development. It's a great way to spend your time for personal enrichment. Whether you're in CS, you're in art, music, it just covers everything. So we are currently in the process of helping two new branches, one at FSU. There's now a DevLUp at FSU that we're working closely with. Christian is helping mentor them, and a DevLUp at FIT, Florida Institute of Technology. And we're also looking at somewhere around 8 to 10 high schools to test that out with. But we're probably going to be looking for mentors soon that we can like allocate to those. Mentorship in this sort of situation is a win-win for everybody. For the high schools, it's an opportunity for the administrators to, introduce new enriching activities for their high schoolers. High schoolers love it, and for you, it would be an opportunity to say that we're responsible for mentoring like 3 different high schools in game development and in running a successful club. I mean, that's something. That's pretty significant, I think. But you can also see that big diagram up top is, I believe, a entity relationship diagram of sorts.
Yeah, it's like a dependency diagram of like the website and everything.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. You can see scrolling through some of the GitHub issues that William and I work on. We have 2,000 commits on our code base, but we have a Discord bot and the website, and we're expanding that. But a little more on that. So you can see, I don't know how many of you have seen our homepage, but we're working on it. There's a live feed of every time that someone uses our bot, it ends up on the bottom of the website. And a lot of those statistics are live about like how many people are actively working. You can also edit your projects on our website. So you can see here, we have a live markdown editor. You can see this is Christian has used that to give himself a little project page. Soon we're going to be displaying all the history of updates and things that you do. This is one of the main services that we offer really is that show off channel. where you get to show off your work and have it like, critiqued and just exchange the progress that you're making. But of course, we offer education and stuff as well. So we'll talk a bit about that. But we're also building a bit of a crowdsourced education platform for seeding those game development organizations at high schools. So that's something that Abe is really heavily involved with. It's something that Christian's involved with, and it's something that Andrew's involved with. So just something that we're working on. We have a giant Google Doc that is a guide, as well as an array of lessons that we're sort of building. And soon you'll all be able to contribute to those, but I can't promise that until a while from now. Julia, I didn't realize you're here. Hello. No, it's okay. It's fine. Here, come over here. Come over here. Here, do you want to introduce yourself? I can run back to your slide. Here. I totally was.
Showcase my embarrassing art. That's
No, no. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. So I'm Julia. It's nice to meet you. I'm so sorry I'm late, guys. Did not anticipate Archer Road traffic. It's horrible. So this is some stuff I've done. Nothing super recent. I mean, I'm sure any other 2D artists out there realize how horrible art block can be. So those are not super recent, but nice to meet you. I do graphic design for the club. Anything else 2D I like to help with. That's kind of it. Oh yeah, I'm a junior digital arts and science major. Nice to meet everybody.
I just realized we haven't been saying our ages. Yeah, junior as well. I think William's a sophomore.
Yeah, sophomore.
I'm going into my senior year.
You're going into
actually.
Diane's in her senior year. Christian, what? Also senior year. That's right. That's right. Abe is sophomore. Yeah. So cool. Yeah. Just some reference there. But so the Bernie Mercer Club-wide Game Jam, we're working on our website and all that to support the new branches that we're starting at FSU, FIT, and there's like 9 or 10 Florida high schools. We rebranded over the summer. Previously, we were the Game Developers Association. If you go on Gator Connect, you're going to see Game Developers Association. That'll remain true for another like a week or something. Why did we become DevLUp? Because the trademark was taken for Game Developers Association by some professional organization called the International Game Developers Association. Yes. Do we have stickers? We don't have stickers yet. We will have stickers. No, we'll have stickers soon. We will have t-shirts and we will have stickers. We're going to talk about that a little bit, but we don't have a design finalized. There will be a cool t-shirt. It will have a logo. It will have a QR code on the sleeve. It'll have some really cool things like that. And we will have stickers. Yeah, some of us have stickers. Some of us have the old stickers on our laptop. There's the old sticker. Yeah, so back when it was GDA. Subtle rebrand, but DevLUp. Because we felt it kind of combines level up, right? The game development, and you got the laptop there with the up arrow, right? But yeah. So what do we have planned? What do we do? Education, right? Game dev, the superior combination of STEM and art. We do a lot. If you work with Unity, you learn C#. If you work with Unreal Engine, you learn C++. Everyone has to learn version control. It's artists, right? There's 2D and 3D animation, graphics design, user interface stuff, user experience stuff, music, sound effects, voice acting, sound editing, technical art, animation, shaders. The list goes on. There's so much to learn in game development, and we try to cover a lot of it, but we can't cover it all. So our members host workshops. Right now, I'm kind of hosting what is essentially our first little workshop, but you have the opportunity to host one as well. We already have a handful planned out, but there will be opportunities to vote on 2 additional workshops later in the semester. We have panels, so there's moments where a lot of us come up here and like talk about our experience or something. Presentations like this one, hands-on projects. We had like a Valentine's Day workshop, I think, last semester where I ran everyone through how to make like a augmented reality Valentine's Day card for your significant other from scratch. You scan a QR code, little like hearts pop up from the card, but it's like all from scratch. So you get to 3D model it, and you put effort into it, and you can customize it. It's kind of cool. Recordings, over 25 of them as of recently. This is going to be like the 26th recording on our YouTube, but we have former guest speakers on there. So see here, this is a guy by the name of Colin Lloyd Davidson, who is the senior project manager of every other game you've ever played. This guy is wild. We brought him in a while ago, and oh my god, right? Like Civ 5, Battlefront 2, Battlefront, Battlefield 5, Battlefield 1. He was the senior project manager on like all of And he now is working in the studio that runs like the top grossing app on the App Store, or was running that for a while. So really, really cool guy. We had him over Zoom, and we have a recording of him on our YouTube. So if that sounds interesting to you, which I think it should, because he's kind of probably worked on the game you've played as the senior project manager, you could go check it out on our YouTube channel. We offer that. So, yeah, there's also a playlist, the Beginner Accelerator playlist, and what that is it's a series of recordings that I made that cover, I guess, an introduction to different aspects of game development. So, game development in Unreal Engine especially, but that's my preference. We're gonna cover Unity in the next meeting next Saturday, so definitely stay tuned for that. And we also offer community. If you've been on our Discord server, you know that there's a looking for group role that you can ping. If you have a game development idea, you want to find some people to work on with it, you can do that. We have game jams. We're going to have a game jam later this semester. What's a game jam? For those of you that don't know, it's a 48-hour session where you try to make a game in a small team. It puts a lot of pressure on you, especially if you're the kind of person that, like, I guess hasn't really touched game development before. It sounds like a terrible idea, but it's not. In those 48 hours, you don't sleep and you learn a lot. So,
Or you could be healthy and sleep.
or you can be healthy and sleep. I would
then you might
prefer
not
to
finish
sleep,
your
but
game.
those are strong words for someone carrying a rauncous no, but it's definitely it's a great experience. I've done a handful of them. I had never done one before this club, and it was a really great experience. It was a really, really great experience. You don't necessarily learn best programming practices, like but you do learn a lot. You learn a ton. It's a great way to get started. So we will be doing one of those later in the semester, and there will be some prep for that. We're also working on this little top secret, the education resource hub thing, which is what Abe's working on. We're trying to build a repository that all of you can interact with that is like a hub for educational resources. Because if you haven't noticed, the resources channel on Discord is kind of useless. Like, it's awesome. You put cool things in it, but no one clicks on them because they just use Google instead. And that's the reality of things. So we want to create a system that helps with that more. And that might be done by like December, if not a little later. But yeah, so some of the things that we have planned this semester in terms of like education stuff. We've got the guest speaker from EA that's going to talk about user experience. There's the Unity Basics General Workshop that's going to be next Saturday. The Saturday after that, Paper Pen Game Dev. We're going to talk about how to do game design and planning with little more than a paper and pencil. Some of these seem arbitrarily selected. They're not. They were voted on by all of you in, well, not all of you probably, but hopefully some of you in previous semester. We have a suggestions channel and we want people to use it. You can recommend workshops and we will go by what everyone votes on. So please use that suggestions channel on the Discord server. You can see we have like voted workshop 1 and 2. Those are undecided right now. If someone proposes something that they'd like to see done, we'll try to make it happen if it gets, substantial votes, right? So that we're gonna have an AI workshop with Gator Club where we make a game and Gator Club makes an AI to play the game. Very cool. So we'll be attending one of their meetings. They'll bring their club to attend one of our meetings. Hopefully we'll be able to impress them with the sort of stuff there. It's gonna be Halloween themed because that workshop will be right around Halloween. Playtest workshop and a disciplined time management panel, which a lot of you probably think isn't game dev, and you'd be right. But there was so many votes for it. There were like 15 votes for a discipline panel where we just talk about how to stay productive because that's something that I think we all struggle with, right? So, yeah. Anyways, yeah, fun. What do we do for fun? We have game nights. This is footage of me accidentally killing Tony by setting off some TNT. He's on the bottom left. Now he's not on the bottom left. It's gone. So Tony's yeah, Tony didn't. He forgave me through gritted teeth, but we've had a Smash tournament before. We've all raided an unturned server before. That didn't go too well. We played Splitgate. All these are like free games. We also have a Steam account with an extra copy of Terraria, and we'll add more games to it as needed if like we end up doing a game that's paid and some of you don't have it. But we do have game nights, so we're gonna have 2 of them this semester. We also have little socials. All of that is on that spreadsheet schedule. That schedule is going to be mirrored onto the Discord in the form of events. It's also being mirrored onto the website. So just keep posted on the announcements and the Discord events. I think the next 6 are already added. And like a lot of you clicked on the interested button today, which was like 45 people are interested in today's event. You'll see that the next 5 are also already there. There's like 11 people that already clicked it. So take a look at what's going to come up in the next month and just keep up with that, because we will have a meeting kind of like this one where before the meeting we all hang out and eat Krishna lunch like outside on the lawn. So things like that. We're going to have little social events. In fact, some of us are planning on grabbing a really weird late lunch, early dinner right after this meeting. So you're more than welcome to join us, but that's kind of going to be casually decided. We didn't formally announce that. And we do have an end of semester celebration. Also, we have Joint Jam, which won't be relevant until next semester. Last semester, we partnered with UCF to do a big game jam. We ended up bringing in USF. This semester, or next semester, we're going to bring in FSU and FIT since we helped them start game development clubs, but it's a Florida-wide game jam. We had like 200 people doing this big kind of competition. We had a sponsor that will be printing our t-shirts pretty soon, a bit late on that, about 5 months late, but the sponsor was there. So yeah, we're doing a lot. We're doing a lot in that regard. Yeah, you can see here are some of our plans. So we do have a game night coming up. This isn't in sequential order. It's with all the more educationally themed events hidden. But yeah, there might be a social event in the middle of the year. We're not sure what it's going to be yet. That's up to you to use the suggestions channel to propose ideas and vote on them. We might do a movie night. We might all go get dinner together. I don't know. But I do know that I had a lot of fun meeting like 30 of you at Bento last week. So if we can do that again, that would be incredible. Yeah, career, right. So these are some cool people. Here's the, right, so that's the LinkedIn of the guy I was talking about. Yeah, Battlefield 5, NHL, FIFA, Battlefront 2, Project Manager, Mortal Kombat, Civ 5, Battleborn, Injustice, City Skylines. Like, that's not City Skylines. But he was on everything. He was on absolutely everything. Bingo Story is one of the top grossing apps on the App Store. Spyro, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, COD Mobile. He's a senior project manager of like everything ever, and we got him on YouTube. So like, go check him out. We had him, we spoke with him. We also brought in Chris Bell, who's on the top right. He was the designer of Journey. A lot of you might have played Journey. It was like on the front page of the App Store for like a year because it has really cool art, and Apple loves really cool art. So yeah, he also worked on the other game, Sky something of the Light, Children of the Light. Yeah, so he owns that sort of like studio that works on that stuff, I believe. And he actually mingles on our Discord sometimes. He hopped in during one of our game nights and tried to join our Terraria server, I think. So very cool guy, very cool guy. He's a UF alumni. So these are connections for you. For those of you that are, show of hands, how many of you are planning on going into a career in game dev? I imagine it's like up 50%. It's about what I expected. So these people are there to like network. Seriously, they love talking to us. They love what we're doing, and you can talk to them on our Discord. Like, Discord is a really intimate place to network. You send some person a message on LinkedIn, they might reply. That's cool and all, but referrals are everything. When you're trying to apply for a position in the game dev industry, you're going to want to get a referral or something. And some of these guys, they know people. So just something to stay aware of. But yeah, so career activities, we have the guest speakers. We are going to bring in 2 guest speakers. We're not 100% sure on the Master Chief guy. Portfolio opportunities, professional contacts on Discord. Yeah. And DevLUp pre-professional. So I think we'll loop back to this. Morgan asked me to loop back to this. This is an endeavor that Morgan has taken on. We're offering a little bit of a pre-professional branch of our organization this semester, but it's application-based. So like 10 of you can get in, but we're providing pretty high-quality software. We have our own instance of Perforce, which is the industry standard version control software. It's used in probably most of the games that you've played that have made it to market. what is version control, right? So like Git, but for games. It's awesome. Normally it costs like $500 per person. We're trying to secure educational licenses for us, but we already have it running, and we're under the impression that we can get away with using it. You know, no, we seriously, we had like an email exchange with them, and they were like, oh, they just haven't responded. So like, but we have access to it. It works. It works. We've tested it and it works. So as long as we don't make money with it, it's completely fine. What's up?
So this professional game design, like this specific branch, is like it's not like beginner level.
It's not, I guess not. No, I mean, like you should try to apply. I think we're looking for people with Unreal Engine as a skill set, like at least some familiarity with it. Unreal Engine is pretty. I will be hated on if I spread my opinions about Unreal Engine, but it's an awesome piece of software, and I think it's very important for people to learn it, especially because Unity is what is taught at the University of Florida, and you only see Unreal Engine like for the first time this year in a virtual production class. For those of you that don't know, virtual production is like when they have like a camera running on like some news anchor, and the background is like doing all the CGI stuff in real time. That's often done with Unreal Engine on the Weather Channel. Mandalorian is recorded in Unreal Engine. So, what's up? Max, right? Or is it Alex? No, but Alex, I'm sorry.
So you said that because you have an educational license, you can't make money. Are you publishing the finished version of this product?
Yeah, that's okay. So, making a game is a massive commitment, and I cannot tell you that like the 10 people that we haven't even acquired yet are going to make a finished product. I can't tell you how much time that's going to take. I have no idea. But what I can tell you is that we're doing our best to manage it as professionally as possible. And assuming that the skill set is there, like we might make something that makes money. And if we make something that makes money, Perforce has assured us that we can retroactively acquire. Yeah, we can switch the license and sort of retroactively like make money back. They explained that some of their other studios that like released titles on the educational license, like they have no security. It's kind of shocking, honestly. Like they said something along the lines of like another studio that was working on an educational license like came to tell them that they finally made money, and they were really thankful because some other studios just don't come to tell them. And then they get audited and there's an issue. We're not doing that. We're not doing that, right? I mean, we're you know, but yeah. So yes, maybe it'll make money. If it makes money, we don't really have a plan for that. That's over 6 months away, if not like a year away. Okay, that's unrealistic. What we want to do is we want to offer people an internship tier experience. We can't formally call it an internship unless we partner with the University of Florida to offer course credit for it. But I think we might try to look into that because that would be really cool, and we are taking it really seriously. You will not interact with Perforce in any UF classes for the most part. You will not interact with Unreal Engine in almost any UF classes. So we're really trying to offer something that gives people the opportunity to work with software that is really high demand in the industry. So yes.
So will there be like other chances to apply, or is this like right now?
Yeah, applications. So there's an announcement on our Discord. I want Morgan to handle a lot of this, so I want you to direct your questions to her. She is on a Discord, just at Morgan, right? DM her. I know I might seem like an authority figure on this, but this is definitely Morgan's domain. She's running this. We're just advising her on how to hopefully handle it well. But yeah, so we're doing our best with that. But yeah, there's another Discord server. It's sort of closed, but yeah. Project pipeline, right? Where there's going to be like timesheets and stuff. We're taking it really seriously. Yeah, please apply. But there will be an opportunity for that. A bit about democracy. I've said this like twice already. I'm going to say it a third time. There's a suggestions channel. Those are some past suggestions that happened. Like we should do an unturned game night on December like 25th or something. And it got 8 upvotes. And then we raided an unturned server and got killed by a hacker. But yeah, there's so many suggestions that just like, yeah, there's just, yeah. So please use the suggestions channel. It is like, it's so important because we've been expanding really quickly. So we don't really run elections. We invite more people to the team because we're growing really quickly. So suggestions are your way of like remaining democratic. If you propose something, it'll happen if it gets enough votes. Yeah. Yeah. So what is game dev? Any percent, right? So just gonna talk a little bit about game development now. I've been going for a while though, so before we transition to this, do we have like just questions about what the club does? Yeah.
No, just what's wrong with capybaras?
I know there was a big feud. There was a feud between several members of the server. There were the capybara likers and the capybara dislikers, and the capybaras won. The capybaras
As
won.
they should.
Yes.
As they should.
So workshops are, I guess I was gonna ask, what are they?
What are workshops like? So workshops aren't that different from this right now, but sometimes they'll be hands-on. So for example, it'll be like, hey, bring your laptop. We're gonna make some augmented reality cards or something. The reality is that it takes a long time to make things in game development, especially if you're a beginner. So like we try to be really efficient up here, but chances are like if we did a hands-on workshop on like 3D modeling, for example, we would get through a good deal of stuff and you would be able to make your first model by the end of the hour that we meet here. But it's up to you to really like develop your skills for the most part. And that's what we try to incentivize with the show off channel, with the bot that keeps your streak up. But the workshops will be not unlike this. Not unlike it. Yeah.
So is there like stuff, more advanced stuff?
More advanced stuff. Okay, so that's the thing. That's the thing. Some of our workshops are very beginner friendly. Some of them are more advanced. And you can, I guess, choose which ones to come to. Like I said, there's 2 workshops that are being voted on later in the semester. And the voted on workshops are up to you. They're up to you. If you want to see like, if you're a beginner, you might be asking like, oh my God, how do I make a basic platformer in Unity? And the next workshop that we're going to be focusing on is actually based on, I believe, Brian's suggestion from last semester, and it got a ton of upvotes, and it was exactly that. It was let's learn the basics of Unity and platforming in Unity and like player controls and like collectibles, just some really basic like introductory game dev things in Unity. But if you're
about that, I was actually kind of hoping that that Unity Basics workshop wasn't going to be like a super general workshop about game development, but more like focused to maybe a popular genre like 2D.
Platformers, 2D platformers, and that's what we're going to focus on. So that's a very beginner friendly one. But in the future, we can do some really advanced ones. We have done some, like in the beginner accelerator playlist, which is on our YouTube. It's like 5 or 6 videos. Those are hour-and-a-half long recordings where I run through some really old PowerPoints that I made that cover a lot of different things. So I cover shaders, for example, and we go really deep into making shaders in Unreal Engine. We go all the way from knowing absolutely nothing to understanding how to do like, some pretty cool vector math and actually making like an ocean surface with like overlapping waves and distance fields and like Gerstner waves and all this stuff. So that could be considered like a more advanced workshop. But like going too advanced tends to lose a lot of our audience. We run surveys. We have run surveys in the past, and most of you are, I think, beginners. I think the breakdown is something like 50-50. Like it's like 40-40 beginner, intermediate, and like 20% of you called yourself like advanced on some surveys in the past that reflected, I think, the club pretty generally. So yeah,
Sure. So we do have the suggestions channel as well. And I know I'm a mentor. I don't know who else is mentoring, but if you put a suggestion for like how to make a event-based pickup system in Unity and it gets some upvotes, I can do a recording of that or hop on Discord and run through it in a non-Saturday, non-GPM kind of setting and then put it up on YouTube. Last year I did from scratch to publish Unity game, 6-hour game jam where I made the game from scratch to publish, streamed on Twitch. Yet to put the recording up on YouTube, but it's something to do in the future. But that's just kind of stuff that, I'm here for. If you want like specific instruction on something, just ping me.
Yep.
And I will make time for it.
that the advice and help channel is pretty active as well. I don't know if you've seen like the the essays that like William and I like to write on there when you ask us a question, but we'll give you like a really thorough response. And if it's an advanced question, you will get an advanced answer. We have a lot of experience. Christian has a ton of experience. I have a ton of experience.
Jeremy
has a ton. Jeremy, yep. There's a lot of people in this club that are more than willing to help. That's kind of the point of the Discord is it's like resources for you. We're trying to motivate you to like make progress towards this because all of you are here because you like this, right? You see it as either a hobby or a career opportunity or just an opportunity to learn something new. And in any case, I think there's a lot of value in game development. So you can just ask. Yes.
You mentioned DevLUp will be hosting your own game jam.
We will, yes.
Where would you suggest like finding other game jams to
It's.io.
So there's a couple of big game jams that run every year.
Unreal just had their Mega Jam kickoff like 2 days ago, and that has like a $10,000 reward or something.
If you're trying to get into a game jam as soon as possible, I have a tiny little game jam specific Discord that's like a sub branch. It's not official or anything, but if you join, there's a game jam finder in there. If somebody's looking for a game jam, they'll post about it. Like, hey, I need 2 programmers, 2 artists. A lot of people are relatively beginners, but itch.io has a page called Game Jams, and it just has a list of every single game jam that's running in the world right now.
Itch.io is the place. In fact, we had a community of Turkish game developers find our joint jam game jam on itch.io, and they joined our Discord server, and now there's like 5 like Turkish dudes that hang out and post their like uploads. No, I'm not even joking. They are from Turkey. They're from this big university in Turkey. I joined their Discord server. They have their own game dev club. Everything's in Turkish. Like I don't know what's going on. But like there's like 2,000 people in it. And they have a YouTube channel and they bring in like industry guest speakers in Turkey. And I mean they all speak English to an extent. And like it's really cool. It's yes, so they found us through itch.io, which it goes to show just how global itch.io is. You go on itch.io and there's a massive list of all the game jams. So
last week I did a game jam in India from itch.io with a university from India that partnered with Arkansas State University in the US. Don't know how that happened, but I was there. We got one of the prizes, which is pretty cool because
That's
most
awesome.
game jams some good prizes.
yeah, that's wild. That's so yeah, game jams. Do them. They're great.
Is that just curious, is that Discord like is that public or?
If you DM me on Discord, I'm trying to not get 100 or 500 people in there. Only the people who are actually interested. But if you DM me or ping me, I'll invite you. There's no application process right now.
But you can also use looking for group. There's a role for that, and you can ping it anytime. Anyone can ping it. And you can find members to work with. Do all that. Any other questions before we move on to like just sort of what game development kind of looks like at a general level? Yes.
I guess I'll bring this up. It might be something that we might have to vote on in the future. But have you guys decided if you're going to be holding another club-wide game jam? This might have already been addressed
So
before.
we had a lot of internal conversations about it. So yeah, the club-wide game jam. Brian's referring to the Bernie Mercer thing that we did, where we had like 30 people and 72 hours, and we all tried to make a game. And we had it's a challenge. It's a severe challenge. I mean, William was on there for the entire like 72 hours. There was over a week of pre-planning where Marissa and I built up a really big Trello where we tried to break things down. The thing is that club-wide game jams have their pros and their cons. The game jams that we normally run, they have this, any game jam has this issue where beginners tend to aggregate alongside beginners. And advanced people tend to hang out with other advanced people that are their friends. And what ends up happening is you get these like really advanced groups and these really beginner groups. And I feel like the beginners lose out on a little bit of value that they could get from being better mixed into the advanced people. The club-wide game jam solves that, but at what cost? At the cost of a lot of sleep for the people managing it, and at the cost of a lot of hours spent organizing it. Because when there are so many beginners involved and trying to work consistently for a 72-hour period, you need to have like instructions prepared for them, because you can't be on call to answer 15 people's questions at the same time when they're complex questions like, oh my god, how do I 3D model? Like, where do I even start? You know, like, so that's a really, it's difficult to set that up, and we got away with it. It was good. It was our first attempt ever. it gave everyone the feeling of being involved in a big team, but it is a challenge to organize that sort of thing. And we opted against it for the middle of the year because I don't have the sort of resources to allocate to that. Marissa, I don't think has the sort of time to allocate to, like, the sum of all the people that would need to work on this, it's too much. We really did spend about a week and a half pre-planning on like Trello, and then setting up a Discord and the GitHub. Like it's an adventure and a half, and we would much rather that. I think you get a lot of experience from being in a smaller team as well. There are pros and cons to the experience of a smaller team. Yeah.
Smaller.
Well, a typical game jam is one in which you group yourself into a smaller team. Yeah. So it's five people, probably 5 or 6 people. We've had complaints in the past about how like we limit the team size, and that's sort of to try to ensure that beginners don't get left behind. Because when it's only like 3 or 4 people, that means that the bigger teams that are good friends and really skilled get broken apart. Some people don't like that. Some people like that. It's yeah. Okay, game development. I have a feeling a lot of you are here for game development and not to just like learn about the club. Maybe you are. I don't know, but we'll get started with that. So this is the general flow of game development, right? Art, code, game engine, game. That's how it goes. You take your content, your assets, and your programming, whatever form that takes, and it enters a game engine. Usually, you can do things without a game engine. That's not advisable. That's a dangerous game to play. You're kind of creating your own game engine. And the game engine spits out an executable file and a bunch of like .pack files that contain all the data in a nice compressed format, and it runs on multiple platforms, and you don't have to worry about that. Some people try to make their own engines, games like Hightail or Star Made, and they haven't released yet. So yeah, like even Star Citizen is running on Amazon Lumberyard. Like it's a very custom version, but it's you gotta use a game engine. It's pretty advisable. If you don't want to use one, that's fine. Do your thing in C++. You'll probably still use someone else's code with like a graphics library. But yeah, so the first thing is art. Art is a pretty diverse subject, right? How many of you are here because you're more interested in art than programming? Like show of hands, the like more artsy people rather than the
people.
a little bit, yeah. All right, that's interesting. I feel like there's 50-50 is okay. Yeah, raise your hand if it's 50-50. That's fair. Okay, that's a little bit more. God bless. Like, so yeah, art can be really technical in game dev. Let's think about like, oh god, who knows about like Assassin's Creed, right? Ubisoft is notorious for generating their environments. Notorious has a bad connotation. It's a good thing. There's like 5-6 French dudes at Ubisoft, and they create the entire universe. Like they're gods, right? They do it with procedural generation. Are they artists or are they programmers? You tell me. But they write the code that generates the city. It generates the mountains and the terrain. It places the foliage based on the ambient level of like water moisture at the different altitudes. They do some awesome stuff. Ghost Recon Wildlands, Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Nobody is hand placing rocks and trees anymore. It's being done procedurally. So just an example of like how art can be extremely technical. There's math in that, there's programming, but the end product could be considered artistic. That's frankly my favorite subject. You have a question?
You're referring to Houdini?
I am Houdini. Oh my god, you know about Houdini. That's great. How many of you know about Houdini effects? Does that ring a bell? Okay, shut. That's good. No, have you even heard of it? Okay. Houdini is like the software. If you know how to use Houdini, your salary starts at like 140K. It's really, really hard to learn how to use Houdini. There's like one person on each development team that knows how to use Houdini, and they single-handedly take the jobs of like 300 artists. Like it's insane. You can make giant environments or procedurally generate like everything, but you need to be extremely skilled and like computer science and math sort of heavy, but it's an awesome piece of software. Yes, Houdini is incredible. I barely understand it, but yeah. So art, at a more basic level, it's a type of asset, right? 3D models, sound files, 2D images, and it starts with software, Blender, FL Studio, Krita, Substance Designer. These are all programs that are pretty common in the world of game development, especially Blender. We love Blender. Blender is an incredible piece of software. SpeedTree, sure. And yeah, so art. You make art in software, and this is like a little, right? You open up Blender, you make a 3D model. This is going to look familiar to some of you, and some of you are going to giggle at this. Those of you that have been in the club long enough and have seen like the little jet engine glider like 30 times, I apologize for that. But so yeah, and at the end product you make art. And it's an FBX file usually, or an STL file, and then that goes into a game engine. What is a game engine? How many people like don't know what a game engine is? I guess, right? Right. So yeah, this slide is awfully redundant then, isn't it? But it brings together code and art. It provides a renderer, a physics engine, typically lighting. Sometimes it offers netcode, multiplayer services, and a flexible structure. There's some main game engines: Unity and Unreal Engine. There's also Godot. There's GameMaker, CryEngine. Base Godot, yeah. If you use Godot, more power to you. Some people there's like a Rust game engine that's kind of becoming popular. Like there's also graphics libraries. LibGDX, I think is what it's called, and it's the main Java graphics library. It's responsible for a lot of games. Games like Faster Than Light, you played that, or Into the Breach, I think is LibGDX. There's a lot of different like graphics libraries that sort of are the probably lowest level of code that you're still gonna reuse from another source rather than full-fledged game engine. But yeah, and you make a project in Unreal Engine. The point of this was to show like a very tangible demonstration of what it's like to make like a game engine environment or work with it. But clearly, a lot of you have experience with what a game engine is, so we're not that beginners, and that's awesome. I'm really glad. But you use Unreal Engine, you import the 3D model, and then you are there in Unreal Engine, and or Unity or anything, and you have tools at your disposal like visual scripting. So you make a class, and most of you are probably in CS, but who isn't familiar with what a class is in the context of computer programming? No. Yeah, so it's sort of like a cluster of functions and variables that stores the logic for how an object should behave, right? And so you take your 3D model, you make it part of that class. You might add some particle systems like a smoke trail on the jet engine, or some colliders that say like, hey, when it hits the ground, it's going to stop rather than just fly through it. And sound emitters, and at the end of the day, you do this in Unreal Engine. You can use Blueprint visual scripting. You can also do this in C++. It doesn't look that different. And then you have something that actually runs, and you can make a little glider that flies. And then you strap a camera to it, and you add some data that says like, hey, when the mouse turns right, add some torque around the forward vector to the object. And when the mouse goes up and down, add some torque around the right vector. And now you can control it. And you've made like a little thing that flies and you can control it. That's the point of this, was to be like, game dev, right? That's the overarching process. You made some art, you took some code, you combined them, you made an executable file from the game engine by clicking a button, and you're done. You have a finished product. But there really is so much more. So there's shaders. I love shaders. Water. Shaders can also look like this. This is WebGL. This is actually, if any of you opened our website in the last month and it made your phone start overheating, this is why. That's my fault. So I apologize for that one. This is how we made the laptop glow. Bit of an issue there. So what? The phone glows too. Yeah. A little bit of black body radiation off the phone. Wasn't too great. But it's a bit better now. It's a different algorithm now. But So shaders. There's animation. A lot of you probably know that animation is a big part of game development, but it takes a lot of different forms. Some of it is done procedurally. There's this one game that comes to mind. Oh, GTA 5 comes to mind, right? Like you trip on a sidewalk in GTA 5, your character goes catatonic and starts stumbling. Like that's procedural animation. There's also like really hard coded animation where you hand animate something like a recoil pattern or a run cycle or all sorts of things like that. There's technical animation where there's the Unity state machine. Unreal Engine has its own version. That's the Unreal Engine like character rigged in the engine. So technical animation, giant category of stuff that you could spend your whole career learning and you'd still be working on it. I think Assassin's Creed is notorious for using state machines, and I mean notorious this time. Like it was bad. They had like 14,000 nested states of like, oh, the character is now running to the right and they're transitioning to their rifle at the same time. So there's like a custom animation just for that. Like horrid. That's what the programmers are there for, to kind of make animations look good and work together well in the transitions between them. So yeah, there's so much to the world of animation. Here's Houdini. That's Houdini. Yeah, hey. So procedural generation. This guy made a rock and he made it using like 1,000 nodes. So, but the rock's kind of excellent, right? Like, is it worth it? Come on, probably spent like a month on it, but like, it's got like lava and like accurate cracking, and so how much is this guy getting paid, right? Like $140,000 or something, like probably. Like it takes a massive amount of skill to use Houdini. So. Yeah, the same nodes that you see there, like multiply that by 10 and you can make like a city or something. Like it's wild. It's really awesome. Awesome software. Houdini is not free, so like $20 a month, but even as like a student license. But it's cool. It's still about as cheap as Adobe and definitely better than Adobe. There's netcode. You can do netcode. That's what it looks like. So there's that. If you want to learn how to do multiplayer programming, just assume the position, and it'll sort of come to you. There's DevOps and software engineering in games, right? You make the server infrastructure. You make containers that automatically build the game. You do DevOps for both the development team and for the final product. Behind every big multiplayer title, there's server clusters all over the world that are being managed through like Amazon Web Services or Azure or something. So there's a lot there. If you're here for DevOps and software engineering, that's awesome. Like I wouldn't expect that, but that's awesome. How many of you like this stuff at all? Okay, all right, cool. Hey, yeah, nice. Yeah. What is DevOps? William, I'm going to defer to William.
Okay, so DevOps is basically making sure that like the dev team, the dev part of DevOps is like making sure that the dev team can work properly, and then the ops part is like making sure that the servers are actually running, because you don't want to wake up at 3 a.m. like, where's my server? The website's down. The game we can't log in anymore, and you just want to like make sure all the servers are running. You want to make sure that the code is like good quality and everything looks good, everything works well, and stuff like that. It's like making sure that everything runs smoothly, essentially.
DevOps. Yeah. So you define like the structure of the different like server clusters that are going to run the application that is going to be your server, and maybe there's a separate matchmaking server, right? So like, and then that routes users to the different instances of the game that is actually being played, and then there's some logic that sends them back. They're like, there's so much to set up. Yeah.
Sounds like Apache would be involved.
Apache is a backend.
I think it's a HTTP server.
HTTP server. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Apache might be involved, but typically a game engine will provide you with like a server instance.
And yeah, typically you don't use HTTP as a game server, but you can.
In the world of game engines, UDP is often the
TCP or UDP.
TCP or U. Well, and yeah. Yo, it's up there.
Fox, who I assume is Andrew on the chat right here, brings up that Houdini does have a free version for students. And I just checked it, and apparently they do.
Oh my gosh. Oh, but you can't export anything.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, that's what I meant. So if you do use Houdini Apprentice, you can't export anything, including game engine assets. So for example, Houdini has this really cool thing where it has integrations with Unity and Unreal Engine, where you make like a procedural asset in Houdini, and then you expose like 10 properties. So for example, a procedural wall, and you expose the property of like height and width, and then you send that asset to Unreal Engine, and in Unreal Engine, some like designer that doesn't have much technical knowledge can interact with it, and they can be like, oh, I want the wall to be wider, taller, and that you can't do that on the student version because you can't export the Houdini digital asset. I think is what they're called. Yes.
So it would make it available to the inspector, is kind of what you're referring to?
Available to the inspectors.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Oh, in Unity. Yeah.
Like Unity in the materials, you have an inspector field where you can adjust individual.
Yeah,
properties.
it would be in the-
Pretty simple.
or the details panel in Unreal Engine. Yeah.
My heart's broken. Never mind.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm pretty. Dude, I wish. It's pixel art, right? So on the other end of the spectrum,
Woo!
you do cool
Yeah.
art. Yeah. Andrew, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what's up? Oh. Yeah. No, pixel art's awesome. Universica, that's Christian, one of Christian's many projects. On the left, that's a GIF that I found on Google Images. Yeah, but the one on the left is pretty impressive, actually. It's reacting dynamically to lighting, which pixel art doesn't normally do, and that's the technique that involves shaders, normal maps, shaders for pixel art. That's pretty big. Yeah, you can do like indexed pixel art where the pixels aren't the real color; they just represent a category of colors, and then they're changed by the game at runtime. So you can add you can change the character's headband or like their backpack color, or add you do so much cool stuff. Level design. This is from the project that I'm working on with Andrew and Tony. You can see on the left we have like a spreadsheet, and then on the right an environment made in Unreal, just whatever. An example. What's up?
Thing that you referred to earlier, you said index what again?
Indexed like pixels. So like imagine. Yeah. It's mapping the So it's really the pixels are just mapping like a category of colors to like a position on the character. So you can be like red will define the player's skin, and then you change all the red pixels at runtime in the engine to be different shades of skin color. You can make them like whatever. Like Starbound. And there's some very fancy versions of that where the character is like UV unwrapped in such a way. I said UV unwrapping. Their 2D representation. The 2D representation of the character is in such a way that you can like dynamically add effects onto them, and they exist in almost a three-dimensional sense. So even though they're 2D characters, you can be like, oh, they got hit by an arrow in the face, and then the pixel art changes. So from certain perspectives, they have like a arrow marking in their like forehead or something. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of like cool technical things you can do with pixel art that a lot of people I think don't know about, because pixel art tends to be very like art heavy, and that's true. But yeah, that's just me. I like shaders. I like voice acting and music, right? So there's a ton of that. You can do like real-time audio mixing in Unreal Engine and I think Unity. You can do Unreal has like a whole synthesizer system, and of course there's a lot of other software like FL Studio where a lot of you. How many of you are here for sound? Just curious, like show of hands, sound and voice acting kind of stuff. Cool. That's cool. Yeah, I'll admit, sound, the reason that it doesn't get discussed so much in game development is because I guess fewer people tend to interact with it, right? Like it's the programmer creates like, you want to make a character. Some guy models the character. Some guy textures the same character. Then someone adds a rig to it, which is like a skeleton. And then someone makes that rig usable. And then the animator comes in, and then the technical animator comes in, and then the programmer takes the technical animator's work and makes the character able to be controlled by the player. And then the programmer finally says like, oh yeah, by the way, when the foot lands, we're gonna play a sound effect. And then just the sound guy comes in and adds the sound. But the sound never interacted with like a big pipeline of people. It's just like, I think the sound people just work on it separately, and it kind of gets added in. So that's sort of, it's just sort of like a side process that's still very relevant to game development. Sound makes a huge difference in a game, but just worth mentioning why I guess it doesn't make as much of an appearance. But I love it if people here do sound, and if enough of you vote for it, we will do a sound-related workshop, for example. We've never done one, but I would love to learn more about that because I myself have no experience. Yeah.
Two things. Sounds like, for the most part, the sound person would just be relegated as a Foley artist at that point.
Yeah. In the footstep example, that would be called a Foley artist, I suppose. Yeah, the people.
Well, there's SFX art.
There's SFX. Yeah. There's You fully art SFX, right? It's sword slash or something. I don't know.
And the second thing was,
Hold on, wait, hold on. What's that? Yeah, what's the second thing?
second thing is, isn't that also like the software that would be involved in this kind of process?
Fmod. What is that?
Well,
Fmod is a sound. Yeah, it's just. There's a lot of software. Man. There's FL Studio. There's I don't know, like yeah, Audacity, right? What? Interactive sound effect. There's just a lot of software. There's even web-based software. That thing on the top left doesn't look like it should run in a browser, but it does. It's like a fully very rich like sound editing utility that has like synthesizers and tons of like really cool impressive stuff. I have no idea how to use any of it. I don't remember, but no, it's free. It's completely free. Yeah, it's completely free, and you can use it in your web browser. It's the most powerful thing that I've seen, and no one seems to know about it.
Wait, what is it called?
I don't know. I don't remember. I know I've used it before. It's on. Just look up like browser-based sound editor or something. You will find a really it looks like that. I mean, I'll find it. I'll find it, and it's probably in our resources channel. But
Is it Soundtrap? Soundtrap might be it.
It's not Soundtrap.
No?
I'm
Oh,
pretty
okay.
sure it's not Soundtrap.
I
No.
see.
What's up?
I'll keep
I think it
looking.
might help if you like Google browser-based DAW, like DAW, because that's what it's actually called. I don't know the name of it.
That's what it's called.
That's
I have no idea. So that's awesome. I'm
Oh,
glad you
found
used
it. Audio tool.
Audio tool. Wow, that's pretty generic. Audio tool. Yes, audio tool. I mean, yeah, that fits. What was your question? Person in the purplish shirt.
Oh, do you know of any good sound design programs?
Well, this one, audio tool. Yeah. I know that now.
Morgan just
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
she guess you
Cool.
won't be here.
Yeah. I'll talk about that in a second. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Oh, and that's that, I guess. Yeah. So yeah. first DevLUp meeting. We'll do like Unity next time. But questions, concerns. How much time do we have left right now? It's 3. Oh my God, we're 7 minutes over. That's wild. Okay. Yeah. So some of you, that's something that I wanted to talk about. I didn't get a chance to add that into the PowerPoint, but let's talk about that. We rebranded, so we have new shirts. They are DevLUp themed. We haven't ordered them yet. We want to order them. They will cost money. We're not attempting to fundraise from them. We might. If we do, we'll be really transparent about that. Like we're not gonna, we're not gonna be like, the shirts are $30 and we're taking like 13 of those. Well, you'll know exactly. Anyways, but this right here is a box of T-shirts from our old title, the Game Developers Association. Some of us really cared about the like legacy title. There are a bunch of legacy T-shirts that we had like over a year ago put out, and people wanted some. So some of you ordered them, and this is your opportunity to pick them up. But that's it though. We will talk about DevLUp T-shirts probably in a Discord announcement. So please stay tuned for that. Marissa has a question.
It's more of an observation of just being realized you advertised really there's nothing to do with game but more. You said next meeting, we're going to do that picnic, right?
I know Krishna is not. It occurred to me as I was saying. Yeah. Don't even. That's all right. We'll figure something out. Just. Yeah. It's just that it literally occurred to me as I was mentioning it. I don't know how. Don't worry about that. Yeah. All right. So,
And just for the record, Morgan, who we did not introduce, but she's like our lead, like marketing head. She like takes care of like most of our like social media. She does a lot of graphics for us. She's also in charge of the pre-professional team. She wasn't able to make it to the meeting, but she just posted in the chat that she is at the social right now, holding us a table. So a couple of our officers and whoever feels like coming with us. It's a casual thing, like Michael previously said, but we are gonna grab some dinner / lunch / whatever. We're gonna grab food after this, so you all are invited to come with.
the social. That's the social on university. So the one that has like pool tables and stuff. That some of you might think is a bar, but actually has pretty decent food. It's like the bottom area. It's pretty chill. So yeah, there's probably like not many people there right now, even though it's a Saturday. It's like what 3 p.m. So yeah. Please join us. That'd be awesome.
I was going to ask about licenses and if this club will provide licenses
Licenses, okay, of what software?
I mean,
So Unreal Engine doesn't need a license. Unity doesn't need a license.
Both Unity and Unreal are free.
They are free. Blender is free. We will not provide it. We don't have an FL Studio. Perforce is the only like paid software that we're really licensing. Yeah. Yeah. We don't have educational licenses, but you can often apply for your own educational license. So like for example, Allegorithmic, which was the company that was really cool and free before Adobe bought them out. They used to have educational licenses, so I don't know why I'm mentioning that. I guess I just hate Adobe. Yes.
Are y'all UX students? Anyone not UX? Okay, if you have a .edu email, you can use that to get a free student license for a lot of software, but a lot of the time you can't publish with that.
Yeah.
So if you want free software, there is a free software for literally everything that you're trying to do. If you're trying to make money off your game or trying to publish it, you should probably stick to the free software. So if you want recommendations, I think I've got a software for everything because I publish game. So for everything that I use for that was free software.
I mean, what is it that you imagine yourself like doing? Do you feel like you might need something?
I'm just asking this question.
Okay, yeah, I trust me, like the free ones are often better. Yes.
So like, you have to do license for like Maya or you know, the same company.
Educational license for Maya.
So educational license for Maya is really difficult. You could make a model in Maya, put it in a game, publish it, and no one will find out. I've seen people do it. But it's really dangerous if you're trying to go for longevity.
Yeah, use Blender. Use Blender.
Maya is really nice. I also am a Maya guy.
I prefer
I
Blender.
did 4 years of Maya. Blender is difficult to transition to, but I think if you're not going to be running in a big studio and have $5,000 for the license, you probably should start learning Blender as soon as possible.
Blender is extremely powerful, you guys.
Blender
It
and
even
Maya are almost at the same level.
they've achieved feature parity. Blender is even starting to compete with Houdini with the geometry nodes that they introduced, and Blender is extremely node based. I can tell a lot of you are itching to go. So those of you that want that ordered t-shirts, stick around. We'll pass them out. Those of you that want to hang out with us, go to the social and look for Morgan, who is a girl with like kind of curly. Yeah.
We did.
Yeah. The social is just on. It's on University. It's like just north of here. Just walk up. Just literally walk north. Yeah. What's your name? The next meeting will be Saturday, same time, same place, right here. I'm sorry.
Like next week?
Next week, yeah. Yeah. We're doing weekly meetings, which I know is a lot more than most student organizations do, but we've got a lot of content loaded, so yeah. Morgan.
Look for this girl. She has longer hair though. Keep that in mind.
Wait, no, the picture of the officers has her with her new hair.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Oh yeah.
Here's Morgan.
There's
you go.
Morgan.
Not the stick figure part of it. Yeah.
Something from chat. The person who I'm assuming is Andrew says that Substance Designer and Substance Painter have student licenses and are free as a student, but you can use it for commercial use. And Morgan says that UF makes Maya free, and same for Cinema 4D, which I
Cinema 4D.
guess so. I didn't know that.
But again, you didn't like it.
Yeah,
Citrix. It might be with Citrix, but I think you can also get a student license for anything else.
Yeah, Citrix Maya, you're in for a bad time.
If you've got any questions, just like come to the front. We'll like hang out for a little bit. Yeah. But FL Studio has educational licenses. Nice. Wow. Heck yeah. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you see you at the next meeting.